Greetings everyone, my name is Buck Business, and welcome to my review of The Walking Dead, Season 7, Episode 11, Hostiles and Calamities. In the beginning of this episode, we see that Dwight is being blamed for Daryl's escape, but once he claims his loyalty back to Negan, he's let off pretty easily. Now, we see that Eugene is being brought in, and he's given this really nice room, and when he is also asked about who he is, and once he claims he's Negan, he gets this pretty sweet deal of luxury instead of this torment that Daryl went through when he arrived here. So it's a pretty interesting comparison to see how Negan is treated different of his captives here. Anyways, we see that Dwight ends up trying to search for his friend, which was also one of Negan's wives, who ran away from the situation because we discover that she was the one that actually did let Daryl go. And on the other hand, we see that these other wives of Negan, they want to end the life of one of the younger ones, and they want Eugene to do it, to make something after he shows off the science that he's capable of. And they ask him to create something, and he does, but he says it's for Negan, and then they tell on him, and then Negan's all like, well, I know what you're up to, but I'm gonna, just sit there and let it sink in. We also see that Dwight sort of framed this doctor, and then we see the doctor being thrown in, instead of being burned by that iron thing. We see that he's thrown into the furnace and is burned to death. So, the way that Negan treats his own people is also very interesting. I can see that if, for example, if he already had a doctor and a new doctor, in the case of being Eugene, came along, he wouldn't have any worry about getting rid of the first doctor, as explored in this episode. So, with that out of the way, it's pretty interesting. I like the way that this functions, because it really shows off Eugene's ability to adapt. And in this scenario, I would say that his cowardice is actually pretty warranted, considering the situation. And I think his cowardice is almost nearly rewarded, if anything. So I guess keep that in mind, that maybe sometimes cowardice is needed in order to succeed in survival. Pretty good episode, pretty interesting way of dealing with cowardice and talking about what that means through this episode. I think that's what this episode is primarily focused on. At least that's what I took away from it, is that, how do you deal with someone like Negan? And Eugene seems to know how to deal around the scenario. I mean, he was able to get a bunch of items, he was able to cut in front of that line, he was able to hang out with those ladies, he was able to essentially witness, and that only being the one bad thing is that he did have to witness the murder of that doctor. But overall, it seems like he might actually be getting it pretty good other than that. So yes, pretty interesting episode. Pretty interesting look into the way of the coward. we shall see where things go from here. Anyways, if you like this review, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, farewell, everyone.